Hello, everyone. This is Charles Folkart, December 19th, 2016. I welcome you all. Hey, I was thinking about how do they fake the International Space Station? And I got to watching some of these YouTube videos where they can levitate objects over this small device here. And I was thinking to myself, how do they do that? You know, so obviously they do it, and I think it's the mechanics of it or the science of it is pretty well known, obviously, because you can buy these on online and in the on eBay, etc. So I got to thinking. And, you know, it was Edison, no, wait a minute, Henry Ford, who said, thinking is the hardest work there is, which is perhaps why so few engage in it. And I'm asking myself, how do they fake the ISS? And if it is indeed faked, and I believe it is, how do they do it? And if they got these small machines, I guess you call them, or device. If they got these smaller ones, why can't they build a big one? Message on this topic. So he's through with me. I kind of question him, and he doesn't like it because I'm not accepting his BS. So I come back and I say, I know you're done with this, but aren't you assuming ISS orbits the Earth and all the other objects? Not because you verified it for yourself, but because that is what you've been taught. We've been shown images and told what they represent, and we accept it because most everyone does. Well, I'm an exception. Isn't that what a good student is supposed to do in a science question hypothesis? I asked my first question because I don't assume ISS is orbiting the Earth, but rather on the ground inside a large levitation device. Thanks for taking your time with me. You've shown me that other than a math formula and circular reasoning, you cannot demonstrate gravity's existence, and yet that is taught as straightforward high school physics. My point is, just because it is widely accepted and taught doesn't make it the reality. In conclusion, I think they show us these images, which are nothing more than CGI, computer-generated images. They show us paintings, and they're very good at it. This is Hollywood script. This is Hollywood working with NASA, and they just show us a picture and they tell us what it means and what it represents, and most of us, at least I did for quite a while, believe it. And they're getting a lot more sophisticated, so they're able to get these objects to float above the machine. I don't know if it's a machine or I don't know what you call that down there. A electromagnetic motor, and look at that little machine is able to hold these objects up off the top of the table. And why can't they do this on a bigger scale? And I think they have, and that's how they get us to believe their propaganda about that we're in space, and the ISS and all the rest of that, satellites, etc., are up there, and they are all in space orbiting around the Earth, that by the force of gravity that you cannot demonstrate through experiments, but only through mathematical formulas.
So John Hutchinson was able to ignite things, to blow things up with the Tesla coil, or to melt metals. And he was also able to levitate objects. And he was also able to levitate objects. And he was also able to levitate objects. You see, when you're able to harness the Hutchinson effect, this is a tremendous power.
levitation of steel, steel ball bearings, glass. I've seen levitation of steel, steel ball bearings, glass, where they will levitate. Unbelievable. I've seen electricity go right into the objects and a million pieces just fly apart.
In fact, using only 75 watts of energy, enough for a small light bulb, Hutchison made a 60-pound cannonball rise off the table. It would also fuse dissimilar materials, heat metal but not burn the wood it sat on, shatter metal as well as change its crystalline structure. This was something to write home about.
Beginning of 1980, experimenting with all the electromagnetics and electrostatic equipments I had at the time, I started to notice some very, very unusual effects, such as a room being filled up very quickly with multicolored lights, steel bars sitting on wood and not causing any fires, metal turning to jelly, things levitating, and jumping off to the ceiling, or simply go up, hover, and then fall back down.
Dubbed by some as the poltergeist machine, there is no one machine, just a lot of old Army surplus gear, randomly tuned by John. No one knows how it works. John has apparently figured out the right combination of radio waves and electrical energy to create the effect. If it could be proven, its impact would be huge. You'd have to rewrite most of the science textbooks. An example of this kind of random event happened in 1989 when a visiting Vancouver news crew was setting up at John's lab to film the Hutchison effect. The target area was that yellow crate with the metal objects. But to everyone's shock, a sponge in the back of the room took off into the air and then fell back down. John didn't actually see it and was genuinely surprised.
Like that, it went up and hit the ceiling 1 second, maybe 2 seconds, and then came down.
You're kidding.
No.
Well, some time ago I was doing some testing and got into some big trouble after I levitated a toy UFO and some other objects.
Apparently, John's experiments were lifting objects in nearby homes, and the neighbors called the police.
The police came full bore in here with engineers, inspectors. They photographed all the equipments very carefully. It's almost like if you called in a cleaning crew. They didn't touch anything. It's like they made everything look neater for some strange reason.
It seems like someone in the shadows still cares what our hero is up to. Frustrated by authorities and lack of recognition, John has been spending time developing his new project, batteries that last forever, based on...
All right, welcome to the International Space Station. Here's a tour. We're starting right now in Columbus, and if you look on this little iPad right here, there's a picture of station, and right here, that's Columbus. So we're on the starboard side, kind of front area, and that module right there, that's what we're in right now. As you can see, it's of course the European laboratory, but it's not just European. We also have NASA racks in here, NASA payloads in here too at the same time. Welcome to the International Space Station. Here's a tour. Welcome to the International Space Station. Here's a tour. It's actually quite a new stuff over here. This is the EML, and Alex will have to tell you all about that because that's his little bailiwick. But it's actually pretty cool because it talks about magnetic levitation. But it's actually pretty cool because it talks about magnetic levitation. But it's actually pretty cool because it talks about magnetic levitation. But it's actually pretty cool because it talks about magnetic levitation. And I just think that's a cool sounding thing. I don't know exactly what it's going to do, but it sounds great to me.
Well, there you have it, folks. The fellow with less than 200 subscribers, and who I believe YouTube has been playing with. He comes up with the secret. He comes up with the way NASA has been able to fool all these people for all these years. See, the guy says it's a new device. Remember before in one of my videos I said they were using a harness and you could see it? Well, it's only been in the last, few months maybe that they've been able to perfect the magnetic levitation device invented by Nikola Tesla back in the 1940s. And they've had all those years to work on this, and they have finally got it perfected. And they are so proud of it, boys. But we're on to them. I want to thank all you subscribers. And I tell you what, man, I praised Yahweh when I was watching that video, and the guy comes out with that it's a new electromagnetic levitation, and that's how they've been able to fake the zero gravity. You know, I'm putting this in here as a kind of an afterthought. Some of you who have the technology or the skill to make a copy of this and mirror it somewhere else, just to be safe, you might want to keep this or put this on the internet somewhere else, because I think this might not be on there very long. Thank you for watching. Embrace the love of the truth, and may Yahweh's grace be with us all, because we certainly need it. See ya.